13 minutes to 8. If you take up any sport, then there's always a bit of expense involved. And the better you get, the more costly it can be, of course. But a Worcestershire charity is offering to help out. The Joanna Brown Trust was founded after Jo, who was a talented sportswoman, died after a fall in the mountains in Russia. Well, Jo's brother Richard, who runs the trust, is with us this morning. Richard, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And in this early start to the day, thought we'd get you a bank holiday weekend off good and proper and having a chat on the radio.
Yeah, that's great.
The trust I was looking at, it's been going quite a few years now, hasn't it? Remind us of some of the people that you've helped in the past.
Yeah, it has been going. Yeah, it's 3 years pretty much to the day since we decided to set the trust up in memory of Jo. We've done a number of different projects, and the talented athletes through the grant schemes, what we're launching again at the moment. We've been very proud to support some really good athletes in the Malvern area in particular so far. People like Callie-Anne Halliday, who's a canoeist, Emily Lewis, who's a kayaker, and he goes to St Mary's School. We've supported 2 archers, one called Jason Ralph, who goes to Dyson Perrin School in Malvern, where both me and Jo went as pupils. Another archer called Hannah Beasley Suffolk, and also a downhill mountain biker called Josh Brooks. So quite a varied range of sports. It tends to be almost the more obscure sports that we tend to support, just because they're the ones that probably need a bit more funding, because the equipment they need is a bit more.
I was going to ask you about that.
A bit more expensive.
Because we talk about funding, it's very general, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what exactly? How does that funding work?
Well, the way the grant scheme works is any young athlete can apply for up to £500, and it's pretty much up to them what they spend it on, providing obviously it's got something to do with helping them in their chosen sports. The majority of the time it will be to pay for equipment, and so someone like Josh used the £500 to buy himself a new mountain bike, which has really helped him, and a better mountain bike means he can get better times in his time trials and things. Some of the other young athletes who help may use it to fund training costs, so it might be that they have to go to a certain place to train and to get some proper professional coaching. But another one of the costs that we've always found is a bit of a hindrance, and you don't really think about it at the time, is the amount of travelling that you have to do. And if your son and daughter is particularly good at one sport and they start being asked to go to national trials and national tournaments, they could be every weekend, and they'll be in Nottingham and then up in Manchester, and you end up kind of just driving around the country paying for hotels and things. So the £500 could go to that as well, really. And we like to leave it up to the athletes and their parents to decide what they want to do with it, because the idea is we're giving them the best possible chance they have of really going on and succeeding.
Yeah, it's wonderful and good on you as well, because it's very hard, isn't it, for, as you say, for young athletes in particular, to get any kind of funding these days. You know, things are tight. But if we don't encourage and help young athletes, then what's the hope for the future? Because here we are, looking ahead to the Olympics and all the rest, and we have some really amazing talent in this area, don't we?
We do, yeah. I mean, that was one of the fun things when we did the Malvern Grant Scheme last year in partnership with Malvern Hills District Council, which will be running again this year. We had over 40 young athletes apply for the grant, and those were just people who live in the Malvern area. That we're doing another grant scheme this year for the Worcestershire area, so we're going to get a lot more talented athletes. And it was wonderful just to see how many great young athletes there are in the area, and we just felt that there is a lot of support for sort of different charities and different sports projects. But Jo was all about winning, and she wasn't afraid of trying to be the best she could. And so we thought that it'd be nice to try and carry that ethos through of her belief of, if you can play a sport, why wouldn't you want to be the best at it?
Yeah.
And so by doing these grant schemes, it's a way of keeping that kind of spirit alive of wanting to win. And it's been really lovely to see these young athletes who have got the money, that they're not afraid to say, yeah, I'm a kayaker and I'm trying to be the best I can.
Yeah.
And so it's really great to give them the money and see them go on and be the best they can be.
It would be a shame to see money standing in the way, wouldn't it? Especially if it's not a massive amount of money as well. I mean, even small amounts can make such a difference, can't they?
It can, yeah, absolutely. And one of the other things that I've always liked about the grant schemes is it's not just about the money that they get, but they feel they've almost achieved something in just getting the grant. It gives them that confidence to move forwards. And something that we're hoping to do as we build the charity up generally and get more sort of profile for the charity, that it will mean something to these young athletes, not to get just the £500 from the Joanna Brown Trust, but to say, I'm a Joanna Brown Brown Trust athlete, I've received that grant, and it just adds that prestige, because I'm a great believer that with the Olympics coming up next year, it's going to be wonderful to see all these fantastic athletes that are going to be in this country. It's going to inspire all these young athletes to want to be the best, but then some of them unfortunately wouldn't be able to achieve that due to financial restraints or whatever might be in their way. And so to offer them some kind of support, albeit quite small, just to get them on the road, just to get them going with it, and then if they can improve, the more that they improve and the more success they have, the easier it will be for them to gain corporate support or gain support from other sports grants like Sports Aid or the lottery or whatever it would be.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the kind of aim of the two grants that we're going to do, the one for Malvern and the other one for Worcestershire, is just to give these young athletes just that little boost up, that little springboard to go on and be the best they can.
Finally, Richard, you were talking there about spreading to Worcester as well, because Malvern's been a main area for you. A partnership with the University of Worcester too.
There is, yeah. We're doing the Malvern grant scheme again, as I said, in partnership with Malvern Council. And so that's only going to be available to young athletes that live within the Malvern area. We did that last year, and because our family are from Malvern and Joe was so proud of coming from Malvern, we think it's only right that we keep that one separate. And then we're going to launch a second grant scheme, which is going to be available for the rest of Worcestershire, excluding Malvern, and that's in partnership with the University of Worcestershire. The University of Worcester. It's fantastic. They've come on board. The grant scheme will run the same again. Athletes will be able to apply for up to £500. But what the university are going to offer is to the successful applicants of the grant scheme, they will be able to go to the Motion and Performance Centre at the university and have a free one-off sports science workshop where they're going to be taught about nutrition and fitness and performance analysis and psychology and all the added elements. It was something that, again, we're so keen to help these young athletes be the best they possibly can, and the £500 that we give them does go that way. But the university, with its fantastic knowledge and the centre that they have up there now, can give those athletes almost the education and the advice that they need to go on and succeed.
Well, Richard, I was just taking a look at the, if you want more details, the Joanna Trust, the joannabrowntrust.org is a good place to go, isn't it?
That's the place to go for all of it, yes.
So no problems at all. Richard, fantastic. Keep the good work up.
Thank you very much.
And good to see you again this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Take care now. Cheers. 6 minutes to 8, it's BBC Hereford and Worcester. Let me give you that again, www.thejoannabrowntrust, all one word, .org for more details. Brilliant story.